¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, it's the Morton. How's everybody doing? Howdy. We have got a few things to go over. Tomorrow, I'm okay. Just got all the content all in one go. Nice. Oh, meaning you want all the content in one go? Well, I don't know if I can do that. Give it a go. Give you all the content. So everything's pretty messed up. We've got trains and stuff. There you go. Spread it forward. How's it going? Welcome. All right, so I guess speaking of like trains, I guess we should start with that story. So I'll get that one ready.
Another video?
Let's talk about it.
Wild. Hey y'all, it's Becky here from the Beckosphere, where we talk about all aspects of climate change and the clean energy transition. If those are topics that you care about, please hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell so you don't miss every single time I post. And if you don't miss every single time I post, hi, welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Howdy. Welcome, Echo Ruster Dragon.
Whale deaths along the U.S. East Coast are not due to offshore wind farm prep work. That is what now 3 federal agencies have concluded after misdirected animal activists began protesting projects. The Marine Mammal Commission, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, and the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM, found no connections between offshore wind production and the recent deaths of 16 humpback whales and 1 critically endangered North Atlantic right whale. The National Marine Fisheries Service declared an unusual mortality event for humpback whales back in 2016, and these recent deaths seem to fall under that category. Of the whales researchers were able to study, evidence shows that at least 40% of deaths were due to being tangled in fishing gear or being hit by ships. The number of deaths is not actually unusual, according to the service, especially with the whale population size in the Northeast growing. Despite all this information, 2 New Jersey Republican congressmen announced legislation last month to investigate, pause, or halt offshore wind operations in the name of the whales.
Right.
About 30 New Jersey mayors have signed a letter,
of course,
calling for a moratorium on offshore wind projects and an investigation into whether the whale deaths are related to such work, despite we already know that. They all must have been reading Fox News or Newsmax, which failed to report all of this information I said prior, despite talking with NOAA officials for...
That's just wild how, like, these people can have, like, unequivocal evidence that the source of the problem is something completely else, but like the dogmatism just kicks in and immediately is like, yep, we know what to do. We know what to do. Any excuse, they don't give a shit about the environment, I guess.
For the articles. Even Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene got in on spreading a debunked correlation between offshore wind farms and whale deaths.
You know, some people talk about, for example, wind turbines contributing to the death of whales. And
of course, this is on Fox News. And of course, this garbage is being peddled by Sean Hannity. Because, as we know, Fox News is in the middle of this defamation suit. All of these fucking clowns get up there and knowingly spread bullshit. Not like they're uninformed. They're knowingly spreading bullshit. The Welsh name for... Oh, well, you got me there. Combrogos? Or fellow... Whales are fellow compatriots. This is fair.
And bird life, etc. In that case, nobody wants to seem to talk about that. And then you have the...
That's not true. We did. We did discuss this problem. Or this potential problem. And then we found out that, like, there's A, not as big as a problem that these people, claim it is. And B, there are actual solutions to the, problem with the birds. We have found that studies show that if you paint one of the propellers, usually that solves the issue. Unironically, cats kill way more birds than any of these wind turbines ever will. So, yeah. Alio with the 15 biddies, thank you so much. This information should be illegal or at least fine-worthy. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what, like, how to, per se, like, a good catch-all, because I don't know if it's, like, I don't know what's a good catch-all solution to deal with this type of stuff, because, like, yeah, there should be some type of, like, damn, if you're purposely spreading disinformation with intent, in other words, it's bullshit and you're spreading it anyways, and on top of that, you have the authority of being on a news network or whatever. I mean, like, at some point, like, we got to start, like, drawing some kind of lines, or, like, you can't be designated, or you can't be airing on news, broadcasts. If you want to do this bullshit, like, you can't be, like, on mainstream news, right? Or, like, or give the perception that this is some kind of mainstream news. I know that they try to get away with it by saying, like, oh, this is entertainment. Nah. Oh, this is not to be taken seriously. Tens of millions of people watch Fox News. And and a lot of these people think that these are credible sources. It also provides more safer nestings for small birds because it scares away predators. Gotcha. What is Hannity and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who talk up Trump regularly? All three are... Oh, yeah, no, the biggest brains. The biggest brains are put together here. What does Sean Hannity and Marjorie Taylor Greene know? Nothing about this. They're just, like, vaguely trying to gesture at some, like, oh, look, we care about the environment too, you see? But the issue is actually the green energy, as we've been saying. Okay. Whatever, dudes.
This toxic chemical mess in Ohio, in Palestine, that we reported on earlier in the program.
I also enjoy Magic the Gathering. I do too, so I can't really say it's hard to just say MTG. I'm just gonna try to, like, make sure that I call her Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's a reason why they're famous. Okay. I don't know what the point of that comment was. There's a reason. So, like, if... It doesn't matter. Whether or not, like... it doesn't matter. The point is, it's a problem. It's a problem when you try to portray, like, yourself as an authoritative source on like news and current events on a news station, and then you're like spouting off this nonsense. I don't know about all of it, but Fox News is certainly pushing the envelope on that. There's a reason they're famous. Yeah, green energy is the issue. True. How's it going? No, not all of it. Not all of it. Any absolute statement is just not true. You can't just say all of media is bad or all of media. You can't say that. That's an absolute statement. Because guarantee you, I can find a good reporting with like actual stories and facts behind it. So, yeah. Every network is brainwashing us. I mean, that's just like not how that works. Anyways, whatever. Just make sure you just make sure that you don't, put the tinfoil hat too tight, Not everything is brainwashing. Yeah, the media has its problems. The media has its problems. But that doesn't mean that everything is a conspiracy. Oh, yeah, no, hold on. You've seen enough. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, man, dude, usually when I try to, like, corroborate evidence, I usually go towards a one person's perspective. Cool. I usually tend to validate, information by, a anecdote perspective. True. That's usually how we do things.
I don't hear anything from the new Green Deal climate alarmist cult about what is an environmental disaster by every measure. Why?
The new green cult environmental... What are you talking about? What's the saying? Every accusation is just a confession. Maybe the cult is Fox News. Everything is a conspiracy on TV? I don't know about that.
I'm not sure. I don't know why AOC isn't dressed in white and crying for the dead whales that keep washing on the beach from wind farms that are being placed all over the ocean.
It's not... So we just went over why that's bullshit. But, like, what does AOC have to do with anything? Just look at the establishment of the Federal Reserve. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, no, no, no. Alright, just get it over with so I can just ban you. What's the problem? Come on. No, you tell me. Come on. What's the, what is the, just look at the establishment of the Federal, what does that mean? Can you explain that to me? I need an explanation. Just kind of lay it out on me. Yeah, I know. We're about to hit bingo, chat. All right, come on. We're about to hit bingo. Oh, it's actually... No, just tell me. Lay it on me. Lay it on me. How's it going, Bipedal Meatbag? The Glass Owen bill. No, listen, bro. I need simple explanations, okay? I'm a simple person. What does just look at the establishment of the Federal Reserve mean? I don't know what that means. Damn. Peace out? Wow, dude. You couldn't even answer a simple question? Yikes. Sad. That's how you do it, chat. Marjorie Taylor Greene's face is annoying. I apologize. I completely understand. I see the chuds are in full force today, not just here. Oh, it's okay. It's Monday. Listen, they're all like scared probably or holding their breath because the dear leader is like, you know, potentially indicted. So they're kind of on edge this entire time from here on out. I expect more. Damn, how pathetic. Yikes.
Ocean, and people are calling the alarms over how this is not only killing unknown
Sounding the alarms.
Thousands of bird species, but also causing whales to beach themselves at record
Unknown thousands of... Okay, you're going to have to cite some sources. And again, yes, we have taken that concern into consideration, and we've found ways of mitigating it. And again, this has nothing to do with the wind turbines.
numbers.
This misinformation has resulted in Marine Mammal Stranding Center staff receiving threatening messages in addition to the potential political ramifications I previously mentioned. Conservative think tanks like the Heartland Institute and the Caesar Rodney Institute have been tied to these whale wind misinformation, which has spread in many anti-wind Facebook pages.
Not surprised. Like, you want to talk about, like, how TikTok is melting people's brains and the security concerns and the misinformation, disinformation concerns about TikTok? Facebook is like suspect numero uno, okay? This is how all like the boomers get brain rot.
Most ironic part of all of this is that while the wind farm projects off New Jersey don't threaten any whale populations, the Vineyard Wind project off of Massachusetts actually might. It's supposed to go in an important right whale hub, but the developers know this and are trying out an AI technology to avoid any whale casualties. The AI computer vision system was developed by Charles River Analytics and is being used by vessels ferrying materials to the construction site 15 miles south of Martha's Vineyard. This tech is used in conjunction with human observers on the vessel. The farm, which will...
Nice. That's pretty cool. So, like, again, like, these people were acting as if, like, these people were acting as if, like, scientists didn't take this into consideration. MAGA and trolls need new tricks. Oh, yeah, no, this is the same old. I'm just going to say TikTok is not a problem. Trans people are not a problem. That's true. The 2SLGBTQIAP plus people are not a problem. What is a problem is poison water and air impacting life expectancy. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty palpable problem. Yeah. I think that, like, this whole, like, TikTok thing, like, the problem isn't that, you know, social media exists. I think the problem is that it has a lot of data, like social media from like Amazon to Google to Facebook. It has a lot of information on you, and it sells that information, and it profits off that information by selling, you know, your data, and then that gets used to push, stuff on you. You know, it's incredibly, you know, problematic that social media companies have so much information. They know what you want to buy. So they just start shilling those ads right in front of you. If you even think about an item, it's gonna pop up. It's like weird how much like information they have. And they're also incredibly powerful in terms of like how wealthy these companies are. But yeah, that's basically the issue with these companies. Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to start a fund for victims of space lasers, True.
Will be up and running next year will provide clean energy to more than 400,000 homes. The 3 offshore wind farms in the works off the coast of New Jersey will power almost 3 million homes once they're completed, which will be between 2024 and 2028, depending on which project you're talking about. What do you think of all this offshore wind controversy? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, especially if you live on the East Coast.
It's very simple. Like, to me, it's like, wow, Fox News at the center of like more, misinformation or disinformation. Wow. Surprise Pikachu face. Like, again, all in like the service of like trying to torpedo like, green energy sources. Because, well, ultimately, you're in the fossil fuel industry's corner. Like, Facebook is bad, but it's domestic. It might be spying for the government, but the domestic government has the reins. No, they don't. With TikTok, it may appear and actually be innocuous, but the reality is, do you trust your own government with Facebook? And if your government was the Chinese government outside your government's jurisdiction, would you trust it with TikTok? I mean, I don't know. Like, what? Okay. Like, that maybe, but like that's not even like the biggest problem. Because like Facebook has like so much more information, and like they are here, so they could be more of a problem if you want to talk about like, the data aspect of it, like sharing with the government. But like, I don't know. It's just like, listen, these companies are incredibly powerful, and they have like a lot of information on you, and they absolutely use that. They literally sell your data for profit. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like that idea. If you want some laughs, search Marjorie Taylor Greene on Urban Dictionary. Oh man. All right. I mean, the first one fits. Yeah. That fits.
Okay, now we've got to talk about the Norfolk Southern train derailment in Ohio. I've got some climate change angles to share with that disaster, but let's first start with a summary of what happened. As I'm sure we all know by now, on February 3rd, a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, spilling 10,000 gallons of vinyl chloride into the local waterways. Vinyl chloride is a toxic and highly flammable chemical used to make PVC plastics. The company responsible, Norfolk Southern, organized a controlled burn of the substances that might have otherwise exploded uncontrollably. The resulting black plume of smoke that was created was so large that it could be seen by satellite. Instantly, residents started reporting respiratory problems and skin irritation while their homes and water smelled like chemicals. Hundreds of thousands of fish died, and the local environment sadly
But everything's fine, folks. Nothing to see here.
went the way of Silent Spring. For an unknown reason that baffles everyone, the EPA allowed Norfolk Southern to contract out environmental testing, which unsurprisingly reported that all the drinking water and air is fine. You can go back to what you're doing, folks. Local politicians even held a party to drink the local
Oh, God. Everything is fine, folks, you know. There have been, like, people reporting, like, all kinds of problems and symptoms, and, you know, the fucking fish are dying, but, you know, everything is fine, dude. Okay, whatever.
local water to try to convince all the residents that everything will be fine, but many didn't buy it. Even independent scientists determined that the amount of contamination in the area was very high and that it was impossible to determine the long-term health impacts until cancer starts showing up. Vinyl chloride has been a known carcinogen since the 1970s. Because this happened in a poor area, many residents don't have the resources to just pick up and move and are working on suing Norfolk Southern to get the money to relocate.
I mean, like, the fact that they even have to, like, go through the motions of suing is ridiculous. Humans suck? No. No. No, this has a very specific answer. This is capitalism, all right? Humans are completely separate of this. The fact that we live in a system that, like, even entertains this idea is the problem here. Private ownership of something so crucial like railroad systems is inconceivable, and the fact that it is the way it is here is what caused this. It's not humans, it's a very small handful of the decision makers at Norfolk Southern that said, safety is going to cost us a lot of money, line go up, so we can't really deal with that right now. As long as our profits keep coming in, everything's all right.
The derailment came about 6 months after a national rail worker strike that was squashed by the federal government. The workers were simply asking to be paid for sick leave and have more people hired for the work done. Norfolk Southern and other railway companies have been deploying precision-scheduled railroading, which reduces safety requirements and increases speeds and cargo loads in the name of efficiency. This has resulted in a net increase of worker fatalities and train derailments, but the companies don't seem to care because it makes them more money to cut corners.
Right. Right, so the issue, again, is like, these handful of people made conscious decisions that led to the disaster that we're in. Neon Cat, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 5 months. Thank you. I appreciate that. But F pollution, I don't like pollution. Well, nobody does. Governments should not have an auditable applications on any network-connected device, but that's an argument for FOSS. UK Railworks got 14% pay raise via their strikes. Nice.
Events like this will probably keep happening, therefore, and I believe another one already did. The EPA ordered...
Yeah. Which, maybe she's talking about another one, because this video was 3 days ago. But, yeah, the whole point of me coming from here is to,
Norfolk to clean up
to go
this
into
mess
this
on their
story.
own dime, and if it isn't done right, the EPA will take over the operation and charge Norfolk double the cost. So that's...
But, like, why is that, like, the primary plan? Like, why doesn't the EPA take, whatever necessary measures first, and then turn around and say, here's the bill, now pay up? I don't understand. Like, either that or, like, why not just start, like, talks of nationalization? The simulacra hasn't gone.
That's basically the gist of what happened. I just want to add some climate change perspective to the story. Firstly, the chemicals spilled are again used to make PVC plastics. And as a reminder, plastic is primarily made from fossil fuels. So indirectly, this is another case of fossil fuel pollution and shows how dangerous it can be to rely on petroleum for our goods. PVC is one of the most versatile plastics and used in everything from gift cards to windows. It's the third most used form of plastic in the world. It used to be used for food packaging until it was deemed too toxic for that. Because it is so toxic, experts have tried to get PVC added to chemical lists in need of regulation for years. But these efforts have failed as recently as 2021 when the EPA denied a request by the Center for Biological Diversity to have PVC added to its list of hazardous materials. That's likely because PVC has its own lobbying group called the Vinyl Institute, which touts
the Vinyl Institute? Jesus. Big PVC, folks.
The jobs and money the industry produces. Communities of color in states like Louisiana, Kentucky, and Texas are very familiar with the environmental and health impacts of living near petrochemical facilities. I did a video last year talking about the connection between plastics and fossil fuels, which includes talking about the environmental justice element of this issue, so I'll put that video in the cards if you want to learn more. Living near one of these facilities drastically increases your risk of cancer. Then there's the fact that these plastics aren't being recycled, resulting in the supply chain dishing out waste all throughout it. Greenpeace has suggested that we should try to replace PVC with other materials like clay, glass, ceramics, and linoleum. Others have suggested metal, fiber cement, and stucco, depending on its use, and potentially other types of plastic if you really need to. So that was one.
I mean, like, depending also on, like, the, I guess, I guess, like, depending on, like, the needs, you might even be able to use, like, hemp. Cosmic Seeking, how's it going? The Vinyl Institute should be an overpriced record store, true, but unfortunately it's, like, a lobbying group. The Horseradish, I thought it sounded like a hipster club, maybe. Nope. Just ghouls.
One of the many deep dives I want to talk about having to do with this story. The other is that railroad companies actually have their own history of climate denialism. Yeah. Despite the Association of American Railroads pushing the narrative that their services are the cleanest way to move cargo, the top 4 American railroad companies, which are Norfolk Southern, BNSF Railway, Union Pacific, and CSX, have continuously fought climate policies and downplayed the science until, like, recently. Seems a bit counterintuitive, right? It's because they're pro-coal. Nearly 70% of American coal is shipped by rail, often along dedicated lines. That means that coal makes up 1 in every 3 tons of American freight rail. As a result, the largest class of railroads made 14% of its income from...
Damn, so, yeah, of course. Of course, this is all coming back to, like, this idea. Oh, God. This is as bad as Monsanto. Yeah. Arguably. Oh, God, I'm tired. Arguably. Yeah, it's within those lines.
From transporting coal in 2018. So while rail companies can tout that they have a low direct emissions, the product that they're making billions to ship is anything but. If you take the embedded emissions into account, the percent of U.S. emissions railways contribute jumps from 0.6% to 16.5%. And while the top railway companies tout sustainability targets in the open, behind closed doors, they're giving millions to think tanks and advocacy groups like the American Coalition of Clean Coal Electricity.
The American Coalition of Clean Coal Electricity. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's because, like, these are all, like, tied, right? This is only making a, like, airtight argument for why these people need to be nationalized. That's it. This is all that this is telling me. This is all that this is telling me. This is basically saying we should nationalize the rail industry and the energy industry. That's basically what this is telling me. Have you talked about the Tennessee school shooting yet? No. No, I have not. That is horrible. Oh. Yeah, my friends, we're talking about this. Jesus Christ. Give us a warning? I'm just gonna go over it briefly. So yeah, like if you drop out for the next like minute, you'll be alright. Today? Yeah, just hours ago, apparently. This is the first headline that I found. Given our government's ethics, nationalizing this stuff won't solve anything. Well, no, the issue, like, the problem is that this is all being encouraged by profit motives. So, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to say that it's going to be perfect, but, like, a lot of these problems that led to where we're at effectively would be reduced, right? We wouldn't have to, like, these companies wouldn't be talking about what is best for their shareholders or how many stock buybacks they can do or what is the quarterly line looking. No, they're going to be essentially providing a service. That's what it is. So why is it in private hands? That's basically my argument. Anyways, just like cover this like for 5 seconds. I mean, like, it's sad to say, like, this stuff happens like I mean this like almost unironically, every day it seems. So basically, just like a 5-second headline. A woman has shot 6 people. And the cops got her. Yeah. Yes, 3 of which were kids, but no, this was a woman, to my understanding. I don't think it was a trans man. I think it was just like a cis woman. Marjorie Taylor Greene and others are spreading BS that the shooter was trans with no basis. Yeah, like there's no indication. There's, according to any of these investigations, the damage report was reporting that it was a woman. Yeah, like that's what it seems like as far as we know. So I don't know. Of course, like, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene would obviously take that opportunity for the transphobia, of course. But no, we don't know that it was a trans person. woman, that is not usual. No, it is not. No, it is not.
That undermine climate science and climate action policies while promoting oxymoronic concepts like clean coal. That clean coal.
Yeah, like, so again, this is not like, this isn't something that is encouraged under assist. If these like industries were nationalized, like I think somebody said in chat, they should be handled like infrastructure, because they are. I mean, literally having like the energy systems are infrastructure. In fact, when I hear people talk about it, they call it critical infrastructure. The ability to have a functioning rail system is part of infrastructure. Where do you think these trains run on? They run on tracks. So yeah, the reason why I'm making an argument for nationalization of these things is because you wouldn't have this encouragement of like the necessity to lobby government or to work with climate change denial groups to push certain legislation or to torpedo certain legislation, depending on what it is, because the end game is profit. The end game is showing how much line go up at the end of, at the end of the quarter, or how little. So yeah, that's my argument against why it shouldn't be in private hands. It just doesn't make any sense at this point. I mean, yeah, 2 rifles and a handgun.
Whole association that I mentioned, it has since rebranded itself to America's Power, and it's the same organization that Citizens for Responsible Solar cited against the solar industry's production tax credits that I mentioned in the solar video 2 videos ago. I will leave that video in the clips. America's Power keep their members on the DL, but there has been no evidence that the railway companies have ever left this group. One paper concluded that the Association of American Railroads has participated in 8 of the most effective climate denial groups over the last 3 decades. The group has also worked with car companies to keep federal gas mileage requirements low. And in some cases, the railway companies directly put money into destroying climate initiatives, like 3 of the big ones did in Michigan in 2012. So yeah, add railway companies to the list of anti-climate action corporations. It feels like it might actually be shorter to make a list of industries that don't have a history of climate denialism or delay or deception.
True.
It's now time for another fun fact about Rue.
This is the best part of the video, right?
Rue has another favorite window. Here's his other favorite window. It's right above my little workspace. So that's why he likes it. It's pretty good. And that has been a fun fact about Rue. The world's largest carbon credit certifier, Verra, recently announced that it will no longer allow the use of offsets from rainforest protection schemes to help companies achieve carbon neutrality. The nonprofit has $2 billion worth of voluntary offset agreements with companies like Disney, Gucci, EasyJet, and Shell to help them offset their emissions in exchange for money meant to conserve important carbon-sucking environments or build renewable energy.
You're in the credits. Nice.
The carbon offset industry is mostly sketchy because of lack of regulations making it easy for companies to claim carbon neutrality when they are far from it. But
right, and it's just a way of like greenwashing themselves, for a lack of a better term. They can claim that they're doing something but in reality not really.
That's why Verra's adjusting. I mean, it's not for altruistic reasons, of course, but after a Guardian Die Zeit and source material investigation found widespread problems with Verra's offset scheme, specifically in the Rainforest Department. They found 90% of Verra's rainforest offset credits didn't represent genuine carbon reductions. Basically, Verra would calculate how much deforestation would take place in an area if no conservation efforts took place. But that was meaningless because they weren't always behind the conservation measures that did happen. And one of the projects that did achieve conservation results, which Verra worked with NGO Conservation International on, included human rights abuses because it required forcing community members from the Alto Mayo, which is on the edge of the Peruvian Amazon, off their land in an effort to reduce deforestation. Most of these people have no recognized rights by the government despite living there for decades, making them an easy target. The project, which accounted for 40% of Disney's carbon offsets from 2012 to 2020, covers land twice the size of New York City. After the investigation was published, Verra saw carbon credit demand drop. So it announced that it will phase out and replace its rainforest carbon credit projects by July 2025, but until that time comes, it will continue to use its system that even its own developers admit are flawed. That being said, many of the projects are likely to change before the cutoff date once the deforestation data comes in. What do you think of the carbon offset industry? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that was your climate recap for the second half of this week. Remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day and to support your local news organizations. Thank you so much to the people on Patreon who helped support me and my fur baby Rue. A special shout out to the climate confident and courageous David H., Norman Anal, Greg H., Paul
Nice,
B,
you're in there somewhere.
Nate, Specker, Bree C., climate teacher John J., Deanne, Steve, Kevin Morton, and SKP Joe Korsgold. I greatly appreciate your support of $5 or more. If you would like to support the Beckosphere, please check out the Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links in the description below for reoccurring or one-time payments. Bye for now.
Nah, we don't know which one it is. There was two, all right? Nobody knows. Listen, everybody can just delete the last 5 seconds, okay, of their memory, and it's all good. But you see, the cool thing is, we don't know which one. There is two. So, yeah, greenwashing definitely rolling around in wet grass to remove the stink of carbon neutrality hypocrisy. True. It's a scam, exactly. It's exactly what it is. It's a scam to make your company feel good or look good without actually doing anything. Good evening. Is that the Messiah who wants to save the world from destruction? Who, me? Yes. Hi. That's me. She? Oh yeah, she's also another Messiah who is going to save the world from destruction. Yes, that is indeed her. It's actually her cat, True. Rue, save us all. She's just a prophet? Exactly. I watched her stream once. Once? That's it? Only once? Come on. And when did you watch her stream? Rue is love, Rue is life. True. True. So yesterday, we had a Sunday stream, which we're trying to get back into. And after the stream, the co-host gave me a perfect picture of Squeaky or Little Bit is her other cat. So we might actually get another cat emote soon. All right. If you guys give me a second, and by a second I mean like give me some time to fix the emote, the picture. But we might have another cat emote. Do you think that man-made global warming thesis is? It's not plausible. It's pretty like apparent. All consensus points to that direction. You can seriously doubt it, but you're also seriously wrong. I mean, unless you have some like radical, upending information that would go against like decades of science. Then please feel free to share that with us. That earth-shattering studies and data that I'm sure that you will immediately provide. Otherwise, and like I don't really care what you have to say. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. But I'm not such a consensus type. That COVID scam showed us. What are we talking about? We're talking about the climate crisis. I'm curious what those scientists found that explains their position. What are you talking about? Like, what are you disputing here? Like the fact that like man-made climate, the man-made climate crisis is false. Like, what is your thesis here? Essentially, is what I'm asking, because like every single evidence that we've done, all the studies regarding the amount of greenhouse gases versus like how the temperatures have been rising. I mean, this is like pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Like, you do know what a greenhouse gas is, right? I'm pretty sure you took like an elementary kind of science class. You know what a greenhouse gas is? I mean, like, put it this way. The climate is... Yeah, why is the climate warming, though? Do you not... Okay, so real quick. I'm going to walk you through this. It's really simple. Do you know what a greenhouse gas is? What does it do? Oh, God. This isn't really that hard. Did you take, like... It is very plausible that it had some influence, but how big that... No, it's actually not. Because after the Industrial Revolution, we can actually crunch the numbers since the Industrial Revolution and see how much output we've done, and see how much output we've done versus how much the climate has changed within that time. You know that, right? Yeah, the climate has changed a lot over the years. Yeah, that takes millennia to do. Okay? That takes thousands of years for the climate to like change and ebb and flow. The problem is that our actions have essentially accelerated climate change to the point where it is at a it is accelerating at a very fast point, faster than we're able to adapt to it. No, there's a direct correlation between our industrial actions. This isn't like, I know you're trying to sound smart, but this isn't like a causation versus correlation thing. But yeah, I know you're trying to use like words and whatever, but yeah, no, this has been pretty well documented. Like, obviously, let me put it to you this way. Okay? Let me put it to you this way. The fossil fuel industry, Okay? The fossil fuel industry did their own independent studies and found that, yeah, their product was quite capable of influencing and accelerating the climate crisis. I mean, it's as open as shut as that. The only thing that like scientists are debating is like how much exactly, how fucked exactly are we, and like how fast or how much time do we have? I mean, like that's pretty much the debate. Like, what are the solutions to this problem? What are the solutions to this problem? How fast can we deploy these solutions, and how much time do we have? It's that simple. You're not understanding my point. My point is that the own fossil fuel industry acknowledged what their products was doing. You asked me for like how can I like have such confidence in that? I mean, like the fossil fuel industry knew exactly what they were doing and tried to hide it. Okay? This isn't like some plausible thesis, like I said. This is well documented. What is it that they found? I told you already. If you're not listening, that's a you problem. If you're incapable of following the conversation, that's a you problem. Someone toss a sea lion the fish. No, I'm going to toss something else. I did. It's your problem if you didn't listen. That's a you problem. Yeah, really. If you can't follow, that's not my fault. If you can't follow, that's not my fault. The average planetary temperature has risen the same amount in the last 200 years as in the previous 40,000 years. The only significant change in that time is the human race multiplying 20-fold and, you know, the Industrial Revolution during the decades of record after record after record. I knew Americans were childish, but you take the cake. True, dude. Fucking true. I am so childish. Imagine thinking that, like, you're gonna come in here and troll. Trying to do, like, I'm just asking questions. The fossil fuel industry has been pouring millions into hiding climate change and buying off regulation against. Yeah, I mean, like that's exactly my point. I that's exactly what I said. But they pretended to not listen. They pretended to not listen. Anyways, listen. If you want to dispute like decades worth of research, international research, not just like, you know, one scientist here, whatever. Yeah, it's continuing to accelerate. Yes, it's we call it the climate crisis. Yeah. Yeah. So the main problem is that the planet is the planet is warming at a rapid pace, and it's causing all kinds of destabilization when it comes to climate and weather patterns. And that's also screwing with ecosystems that also have other domino effects that cause, you know, feedback loops. I mean, like, this is all well documented. Anyways, the point is that if you want to dispute something, you don't come in here and do it that way. You try to present other evidence, which I highly doubt. But if you have some kind of other evidence that you want to present and you want to share, then by all means, send it to me. But don't come in here and and act like this. Yeah, they buy senators in Congress and government, not just here. Not just here, but in other countries too. Whether it's real or not, reality is the poor and plebs are going to have to give up their comforts while the elites continue to do what they like. There's basically nothing regular people can do about the climate, but we'll be the ones taxed for it. I mean, well, yeah, it is real. But I don't think that there's I don't think it's right to say that there's nothing we can do. I don't think it's fair to say that there's nothing we can do. I don't buy that. Anyways. I mean, it is real. It's as real as it can get. It's very palpable. It's around us, and like I refuse to be gaslit into thinking otherwise, right? We can work together to demand it. Yeah, I mean, like, see France. But yeah, I completely I completely push back on the idea that there's nothing that we can do. Liberals bend or they break. Hazardous material leak after train derails in southeast North Dakota. Yep. France, exactly. The French know how to do it. Emergency crews are responding to a train derailment with leaking hazardous material in a rural area of Richland County, southeast of Windermere? I don't know. Authorities have determined the hazardous material is liquid asphalt used in road construction. 31 cars from a Canadian Pacific Railroad freight train derailed at 11:15 p.m. Sunday, according to the Canadian Pacific spokesperson Andy Cummings. Cummings said the emergency response team from Canadian Pacific, including hazardous material experts, were on site Monday morning, along with the Windermere Fire Chief and the local first responders to assess the incident. I'll wash at 30 and use less gas, but Billy and Greta? Who's Billy? Gonna fly jets to tell us to wash at 20? Wait, what? How are you comparing these two? What? You make no sense. There's plenty we can do, but the results will not be immediately equal to the amount of effort and resources applied to the problem, but it will have a significant effect. Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that, like, yeah, again, I don't think it's fair to say that there's nothing we can do. 3 months for 99 cents a month sounds like a deal. True. Cummings said no injuries have been reported. There's no fire and there's no waterways nearby. Yeah, it's per month. 3 months for 99 cents a month. There's always a catch. No evacuations have been ordered. As of early the afternoon, authorities on the scene confirmed the leaking was stopped, but they still need to determine how much was spilled. Cleanup is expected to take 7 to 10 days, but the rail line could be opened by Tuesday. Greta takes a vote to yell at the world governments, and people repeat the right wing flying all over the world BS. Oh, true. That's actually a very good point. Yeah, she actually travels by a solar powered boat. Meanwhile, was still, yeah, like, dude, you know what? True, could do anything. We should just not do anything about it. True, man. You know what? You're right. We should just not do anything. We should just not do anything. You're right. You're right. We should just kowtow to the fossil fuel industry and fuck this planet into oblivion. Cool, dude. You're right. We just should throw our hands up in the air and not do anything. Whatever. True. Why bother to wipe if you're just gonna poop again? That's right. We should stop Bill Gates flying jets. Okay, well, you're talking about capitalism. And again, Bill Gates doesn't negate the fact that, like, the climate crisis is still happening, whether or not you believe in it. Imagine, like, trying to, like, imagine trying to, like, basically essentially reach the conclusion that we should just do nothing. And effectively, essentially what you're doing is, like, engaging in climate change denial. over Bill Gates. I don't give a fuck what Bill Gates says or does. Okay? It doesn't dispute like the decades of science. No one is dick riding Bill Gates, exactly. I don't give a fuck what Bill Gates is saying or not saying or doing or not doing. If you have a problem with Bill Gates, then you should probably talk about how like capitalism has gone out of control and set the scenario where a Bill Gates would exist in the first place. Anyways. Ah, that's a good emote. No evacuations have been ordered. As of early Monday afternoon, authorities on scene confirm that the leaking has stopped, but they still need to determine how much was spilled. Cleanup is expected to take 7 to 10 days, but the rail line could be opened by Tuesday. There is no threat to public safety, the Canadian Pacific said. Yes, the company that caused the problem is saying that everything is okay. The safety of crews, first responders, and public remains our highest priority. If that was the case, then, things like, safety precautions and things like that should have been invested in, but that costs money. Our hazardous material experts are continuing a full assessment of the incident in coordination with first local responders. Windmere is about 60 miles southwest of Fargo. Yeah, yet another example of, like, the necessity of, like, nationalizing the rail lines. Are you suggesting workers should own or have the equity in their means of production? The working class? Yeah, dude. Why not? Why shouldn't you, as a worker, have the fruits of your labor? Grab them by the means of production. Why shouldn't you, as a worker, have the fruits of your labor? Why shouldn't you own that? That's my question. Because of trickle down economics. True, dude. True. One day, we're all going to be billionaires, okay? Trust me. One day, if you work hard enough, okay? Eventually you'll be a billionaire, okay? Eventually you'll be Bill Gates, okay? That's how this works. Oh, God. It's even golden. Trickling down your leg. Oh. Speaking of ghouls, GOP senators introduced measure to overturn Biden's student debt forgiveness. Again, imagine like proposing the most like milquetoast crumbs of relief, and the GOP still wants to take that away. If we're going to use trickle-down economics, we need to poke a lot more holes. Yeah, we need some of that to start flowing down, right? Wait a minute. Billionaire shaming is unconstitutional. What if they don't get billions in subsidies everywhere from our hard-earned dollars? Would you be able to sleep at night? You're right, dude. I'm not thinking straight. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. How un-American of me to not think about billionaires and their shareholders. After all, oh God, I can't. The GOP forgets that not all attention is good. Well, here we go. A group of Republican senators unveiled a proposal to revoke President Biden's executive action last year to forgive some federal student loan. Yeah, dude, like Biden, who will think of the poor CEOs, True? Biden decided that he was going to give some breadcrumbs, some breadcrumbs to help the people, and apparently, you are not allowed to even have the idea of breadcrumbs, according to the GOP. You're not even allowed to think about the idea of getting some relief. The move escalates to political war. It's not just a it's I guess it's class war, political war. I guess it is a form of political war. Some dingleberries, you mean? The GOP doesn't even want you to have that, okay? Over an issue that has divided the two parties and played out in the 2022 midterm elections. The two-page resolution was led by Senator Cassidy of Louisiana, the ranking member of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee, alongside Senator John Cornyn of Texas and Joni Ernst of Iowa. 35 GOP co-conspirators, an advisory said. Where is the relief for the man who skipped college but is paying off his work truck? Or this is whataboutism. What about the relief? So basically, this is a whataboutism argument, because like you can just say, what about the relief for the man who skipped college but is paying off his work truck? Or what about the woman who paid off her loans and now is struggling to afford her mortgage? Yeah, dude, this is a problem. But these are two separate problems. And we should be helping, the working class as a whole. But you're talking about two completely separate issues. We're talking about student debt relief. If you want to talk about, like, improving the conditions of the working class, then let's talk about what would actually help the working class. Are you going to provide some kind of universal healthcare system? Are you going to provide some type of universal college, maybe even vocational or technical schools, so that they wouldn't have to be in this situation? No, I can spot irony. What? I can spot irony and satire. If people are struggling to pay off their mortgage, why is that? It's because jobs aren't paying enough. Raise the fucking minimum wage. Like, these are completely separate problems that you're talking about. Food, housing, education, and healthcare. Why aren't you proposing these things? They've just skirted paying living wages via slave labor or child labor. Yep. Forgiving and eliminating debt frees up more capital for the economy. I can see this is true, and I'm not even an economist. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't take, that big economics degree, that master's in economics, to kind of like think that one through. You're right. I'm not an economist either. There's no state under communism. Like, that's one of the first things. There are not. Yeah, like this, you can immediately disregard any person who talks about, quote, you think that even under communism, the judges and senators? What? Senators under communism? What does that even mean? Are going to reduce their comforts while passing laws that force you to? What are you talking about? What, like, you can immediately disregard because this person has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. That's true, the mayor. They skirted paying any type of living wage by via slave labor and child labor, which which we see the GOP move towards. They have a tendency to describe the problems of capitalism, but call it communism. Yep, exactly. Like, dude, yeah. Communism, when all the poor have been, like, oppressed by, like, oligarchs in a system that prioritizes their profits and their comfort, which I'm going to interpret as wealth, over yours. Yeah, dude. They have yeah, exactly. The problems with this is what you're describing is capitalism. Will help more Americans to free up debt and raise achievement prospects of an entire nation. Yeah, if you have like a scenario where there's like a lot of people that don't have to deal with student debt, which is like a really big chunk, right? Student debt has surpassed credit card debt. So it's a really big problem. Ideally, you would want a situation where there is no such thing as student debt, because we'd have some kind of universal college system or some universal education system. This shouldn't even be a problem, quite frankly. But the fact that like the GOP has decided that you're not even worthy of the most minimum of minimum relief just shows you like how ghoulish, among ghouls, how ghoulish these people can be. GOP or GQP have passed rollbacks of human rights and children in Arkansas. Oh yeah, several states. Yep. Communism is when no dingleberries. True. But in this age, without tyranny, do you really believe a classless society can exist? I think that we can, like, I think that we can definitely move towards a system where it's less and less necessary to divide around class lines, because things like profit, wouldn't exactly be the center, the center of where we would like to be. But it is what it is. You ideally want to move to a society that has less and less hierarchies. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight. No one has ever suggested we could transition directly from what we have now to full-on communism. Yeah, I mean, like, can you imagine? Dude, this isn't like fucking Avengers where you can just Thanos snap whatever reality you want into existence. But yeah, ideally, you'd want a system where, think about like how the North American, like, indigenous people kind of had like society set up. There was a lot of like democratic systems that we can kind of move towards. Things like federations, which you could consider things like worker co-ops a form of that. They've also successfully pushed back protections against child grooming and marriage. Yep, that's right. I saw that story from West Virginia. It's always the same, the mayor. Every accusation is just a confession. Every accusation is just a confession. Anywho, point is, the problems that you're talking about aren't problems with communism. The problems you're talking about are problems that we have now. And the fact that, like, you point to, like, Bill Gates is incredibly telling. Economics aside, the universities and colleges will find new money and interest from endowments and grants. Yeah, that's true. Where's the relief? Oh yeah, so whataboutism? This resolution prevents these Americans whose debt looks different from the favored group the Biden administration has selected from picking up the bill for this irresponsible and unfair policy. No. This isn't like a favored group that the Biden administration has selected. It's just a matter of like, student debt is huge. So this was the federal government's attempt at trying to do something about it within their purview. And furthermore, it's not like they did it as like an act of Congress. This was like a decision that the administration did because that was what within their limited purview. I'm pretty sure that if they had like the ability to like look into like other programs, they might have done that as well. Without class, who collects the poop every day? Everybody? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, who's collecting poop right now? Who do you think is collecting poop right now? I don't understand what that even means. Lowest humans whip to do. What are you talking about? The proposal was brought under the Congressional Review Act, which creates a fast-track process for Congress to overturn rules issued by the federal agencies within a certain period of time. It's not subject to a Senate filibuster and can pass with a simple majority, but they don't have the Senate. Republicans have a slim majority in the House, while Democrats hold a 51-49 majority in the Senate. If the measure passes, Biden could veto it, requiring Congress to find two-thirds of the to override him. Biden's executive action, which is backed by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and other Democrats, would allow for up to $10,000 instead student debt cancellation for federal borrowers making under $125,000 in individual income, or couples who earn less than $250,000, and as much as $20,000 if you have a Pell Grant. The proposal is expected to cost "quote unquote" $400 billion, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. Republicans are just showing us how callous and uncaring they can be to families trying to make ends meet. We'll continue, Schumer tweeted, we will continue to fight this cruel Republican attempt to end student debt relief with everything we have. I mean, you just killed the motion, dude. Biden's student debt plan divided voters in 2022 election, with 50% approving and 47% disapproving. According to NBC Exit Races, the plan is also facing a challenge in the Supreme Court. Nothing wrong with being a poop collector. They make good money. Yeah, but like, my point is, like, he's basically saying, like, who's going to work? Who's going to... Bro. This is like asking, like, oh, who's going to be a parent, dude? Who's going to take care of the child? Okay? If there is no class, who's going to do childcare? Bro, parents do it for free. Parents have been doing this since the dawn of time. We've always done work when needed. This idea that we're now being forced into a system that essentially says either you do this or you don't have food is very recent, but we've always done work. We've always done work. Hello, person who's been banned in a ton of channels, including Riverboat Jack. What the heck did you do to be banned in her stream? Riverboat Jack is like one of the most chillest streamers on this platform. What the hell did you do to get banned? It might have been my name before I changed it. Oh. Okay. What was your name before you Hunter Biden's laptop? How do I get access to a ban list? Posada bot will tell you. Whatever, bro. We'll see how long you last here. If you're a streamer, or you're a streamer, right? The Mayor McCheese? If you're a streamer, if you're a streamer, you can ask OG Prodigy. You can ask OG Prodigy about PosadaBot, and they will be more than happy to help you. Because PosadaBot is incredibly powerful. Such a useful tool. You get to vibe check people when they come in. You get to vibe check them. What are we talking about? Politics. What does PosadaBot say about me? It likes you. It says hi. I could pass any vibe check at any. I would pass any vibe check. Anyways, Biden to veto Republican energy permitting bill. President Biden would veto a Republican energy legislation. Thank you for the follow, the Mayor McCheese. President Joe Biden would veto a Republican energy legislation package if it were to pass Congress, citing cost increase that the legislation could lead to. The Lower Energy Costs Act would double the cost of energy efficiency upgrades that families need to reduce household bills, and would repeal the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund that would cut energy costs and boost economic development in rural and urban communities across the country. Therefore, if presented to the president in its current form, he would veto it. The Republicans plan to bring the legislation to the floor, where they hold the slim majority for a vote this week. Representative Elise Stefanik, who chairs the House Republican Conference, said on Wednesday, the bill would codify into a Trump administration rule that sought to limits on reviews and public input on fossil fuel projects and road building, weakening the fundamental conservation law, the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. Yeah, so this is bullshit. Biden should immediately veto it if it comes to his desk. Anytime like Republicans talk about energy, it's not about energy. It's about fossil fuels. Okay, like the fossil fuel industry likes to do this thing where it wants to have people conflate, or I guess merge in their heads, the idea that fossil fuel is energy, and therefore it is incredibly vital, which is not the case. Not the case. About energy as a libertarian. Oh, listen, as a libertarian, I would definitely recommend to tread lightly, because I'm going to ask you about age of consent laws. The bill would codify into a law that Trump administration rule that sought limits to review and public input on fossil fuel projects and road building, weakening the fundamental conservation law, the NEPA. Even if the bill were to pass in the House, it would face a test in its path to clear the Senate, where Biden's fellow Democrats hold a narrow majority. How come the left, or at least shown in Hollywood, left shown in Hollywood, so against alternative or renewable energy. We're not. Nuclear specifically. Okay, so now we're talking about not renewables, but nuclear specifically. I don't know what shown in Hollywood means, but what does that mean exactly? And no, the problem with nuclear is simply this. It is incredibly expensive, and the time it takes to get it up and running is way too long versus something that is cheaper, more readily available. I don't know. Why wouldn't we move towards solar and wind if it's cheaper? Anyways, even if the bill were to pass, it would face a test in the Senate. That's right. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said that the House's bill is dead on arrival, but many senators want more moderate permitting to expand electricity transmission systems and rapidly build out of renewable power. Yes, if you're trying to make permits easier, then I would definitely say probably use it for more renewable sources. The general complaint is nuclear gets brought up because we fix climate change with this, no need for renewables, and it's pretty untrue. And it's patently untrue. Yep. I don't think any leftist worth listening to isn't aware of that. Have you seen? So again, we go back to the same thing. Like, dude, your fundamental arguments is like, bro, we should just do nothing, dude. Yeah, no shit. We know how, like, we know the potential problems of the acquirement of some of the materials that are necessary for wind and solar. They would still be infinitely better than continuously pumping out greenhouse gases. Than continuously, doing business as usual. It's preferable. That's why we're moving towards that. I don't understand, like, how this could be such a hard concept for people to understand. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, it's gonna have its issues. And as we move along, we could even find ourselves in a situation where the impact to the environment is less and less. Yes, there are non-rare metal battery systems, yeah. Why does nobody care? You're acting as if nobody cares. If you want to talk about sweatshops, you're talking about capitalism. The very thing a leftist is complaining about. You've never purchased it? Really? Never purchased a cell phone because I'm against it. Yeah, dude. I believe that. So you must be typing on a computer? Where did that computer come from? Moon power is the best, though. I'm aware of this stuff. It's part of the reason why some of them... Yeah, exactly. So it isn't your phone. So you're willing to use somebody else's phone to make yourself feel better? Is that what it is? Whatever, dude. You're a clown. I don't believe a single word you're saying. I'm sorry. Ed Markey, a Democrat, last week outlined progressive priorities for a permitting bill that included historic levels of funding for environmental justice programs and NEPA implementation. Clearview Energy Partners, a nonpartisan research group, said the House bill could set up a conversation between the House and Senate on compromise legislation that could be included in a wider bill later this year, such as one lifting the debt ceiling or a measure on defense policy. Yeah, I mean, like, what needs to happen is, like, within, like, the purview of what this is, what needs to happen is more incentivization of renewables and less deregulation of the fossil fuel industry and less permitting for fossil fuels. Like, at this point in time, there should be no new fossil fuel projects. No new fossil fuel projects, period. What I miss? Biden vetoes or threatening to veto a Republican bill that attempts to loosen rules around permitting. Or maybe we should move away from the problem to begin with. Maybe we should move away from the actual oil that's causing this problem. That would be like the ideal scenario. It would make a change from the abomination that's carbon capture right now. Yeah, that's all the rage. Given the current ways to replace fossil fuel output with renewables, and mining is going to need to be stepped up a lot. I mean, a lot of things are going to need to be stepped up, including the reduction of emissions. I mean, yeah, dude. So again, what is the point of telling us this? No shit. We know that we have to ramp up our ways of producing renewables. What is the point of making that comment? No, we shouldn't be using oil at all. No, we shouldn't be drilling at all on sea or in land, period. There's no need. That's unrealistic? Yeah, dude. It's unrealistic. So I guess you can join your friend. You can join your friend that we should just throw our hands up in the air and say, like, absolutely nothing. We should do absolutely nothing. Yeah, dude. Very helpful. Very helpful. We should just do nothing because any proposed solution is just unrealistic. The idea of, like, especially since the technology exists and the technology is now cheaper than ever. Yeah, dude, we should just not do anything. We should just continue business as usual. True. We have 30 years in reserve without drilling anymore. I mean, assuming that we don't, but so many people in poverty. That's a capitalism problem. That's a capitalism problem. Mr. Libertarian. Ban fossil fuels, create carbon fuels by extracting carbon from ocean along with the minerals we need to run our new society. I'm black-pilled on the environment. I completely understand why you feel that way. Incentives? What are you talking about? Those don't exist under communism. No. What incentives for renewable energy? Oh, I'm talking about under the current system that we have now. Yes, the government within its purview right now, their job is to definitely incentivize the production of renewables. Yes. If you want my prescription on an ideal scenario, it should be nationalized. It should be nationalized. Or allows business as usual with the absolute chaos related to those issues, which is that's where we're heading. Yep. To be fair, we're probably getting a combination of environmental collapse and conflict breakouts. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we're seeing that. Yeah, inflation isn't just why are people who the people who stand capitalism so much have absolutely no idea on how any of it works. Inflation right now is not just caused by the government printing money. There are other factors that make inflation what it is in this particular scenario. Any person who understands how the economy works knows that inflation right now in this circumstance isn't just created by the overprinting of money or the printing of money. I don't know what that means. The inflation right now is caused by several factors, including one of the biggest ones, which is supply chain issues. We know this. We need incentives right now for water reclamation, energy storage, and heat pump conversion before anything else. No matter what the talking points are said, that's why gold was whatever, dude. You can claim to think that you know what you're talking about, but actually you're just demonstrating to everyone here that you actually have no idea what you're talking about. Economics isn't a solved puzzle either way. No, I'm saying that there's a multi-factor issue here. What do you think of the anti-work movement? I joined anti-work movement to freeload my city research. What? What does that even mean? You got pizza? What? It's really simple. If they're $100 in print, the value stays the same. Only... No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inflation now. Here isn't just the result of the government, printing money, whatever that means. I'm saying that there's multiple factors and telling me that it's just the government printing money is just incorrect. It's Nixon's fault? What? Okay. More than 800 million has already been spent. Now, some people inside the campaign are forecasting what is an unthinkable cash crunch with less than 60 days until the election. Water reclamation because we need water energy storage to reduce existing energy production costs and converting all air conditioners to heat pumps will cut national energy consumption in half. Yep. Well, sure as heck didn't help, but I think that pretending pre-gold standard everything was fine and dandy for people is a bit of a meme. Yeah. Considering the things that happened, decades before. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It was all Nixon's fault when he took away the gold standard or whatever bullshit you want to feed us. Hey, wasn't there a Great Depression in the 30s? Huh. That's interesting. Which means it was a good thing. Grand jury in the Trump case is expected to reconvene on Monday, which is today. Yep. We'll see if anything happens at... It's not really anti... I don't know why you would frame it as anti-work. I don't know as why would you frame it as anti-work when you're just asking for a proper wage? Anti-work is a Reddit of a lot of it was coming from ADT from r/. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Some Reddit meme, gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. Anyways, quiet quitting just means that you want to be paid appropriately. That's it. Your wage will match the work that you do. It caught on in public consciousness in a sort of simpler pilled form. Gotcha. Anyways. Final story of the day, folks. Trump live updates National Enquirer former publisher testifies before the grand jury. And people like me will come in and scab up the jobs? What? So you're not even working? pick yourself up by the bootstraps, dude. I like the idea that the ideal is to have to work as little. I like the idea that the ideal is to have to work as little as possible. True, especially nowadays. Yeah. Normal left falls into the same trap as the right, being very we will get gainful employment when the end goal is to not have work. Is that if people complain, other people will come in and work harder and take less money? That's not a good thing. Dude's gonna take a second job just to make sure wages stay depressed. True. While I'm paid less than the profit I produce, I will not work. Exactly. There you go. As a business owner, who would you prefer to hire? I would pay whoever is working, if I owned a business, a living wage. If I'm unable to pay somebody a living wage, then I don't need to be in business. Back before COVID, minimum wage was livable? Absolutely not. 40% unemployment rate? No, it's not. Even before inflation, it wasn't. Where did you get this 40% unemployment rate? You okay? What? Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're the one that came in here saying that you're using somebody else's phone. I don't know, dude. You can't demonstrate any like ability to even have this conversation. You're talking about like 40%. I mean, like 40% unemployment. I don't know, dude. It just seems like maybe you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So we can just kind of disregard what you're saying from now on. All right, cool. Anyways, the New York City grand jury for nearly 2 months has been hearing testimony and reviewing evidence related to hush money payment benefiting former President Trump set to resume on Monday today. The grand jury, which could be asked to issue an indictment of Trump, returns 2 days after he spoke to his supporters in 2024 presidential campaign rally in Waco, Texas. Trump, during that event, accused the Manhattan DA of prosecutorial misconduct for investigating him for possible crimes related to how the hush money was paid to porn star Stormy Daniels was described in official business records. The ex-president has attacked Bragg on his social media site Truth Social for more than a week as the threat of an indictment appeared to increase with the testimony of Trump's lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen. Law enforcement officials, so I believe the number is higher than 3.6, but 40? Yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. This was February's number, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I don't know, dude. I should move there and be unemployed. No, you don't. Listen, if you're here and unemployed, you don't have health care, mono. Stay where you are. Tories here have underfunded the NHS for decades. True. Our healthcare is getting worse every year, so it might not matter. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry conservatism has like essentially torpedoed your NHS. Sorry. Or at least part of the problem. Anyways, at least it's been part of the problem. The privatization, the underfunding. Sorry. Federal minimum wage hasn't been livable in years. Exactly. Dude, unemployment could be like twice that. Unemployment could be like 6%, and it would be nowhere near. And it would be nowhere near 40%. Which I would be so anti, except they're mates of the Tories, so you know it's going to be both jobs. Whew. Anyways, there's no point in listening to Stoner 2012. There's no point. You've demonstrated that you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Anyways, law enforcement officials say Bragg's office has received hundreds of threats in this recent week, including an envelope received on Friday that contained non-hazardous white powder and a letter vowing to kill the DA. Yeah, look, domestic terrorism at play. Cohen has admitted to paying the $130,000 to Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, right before the election day in 2016 to keep her quiet about the account of having sex with Trump one night a decade earlier. Trump, who denies having sex with Daniels, later reimbursed Cohen for the payment, which Trump Organization claimed was for legal expenses. In addition to Manhattan probe, Trump... Are you the same person? Wait, who? In addition to Manhattan probe, Trump is under criminal investigation by a Georgia prosecutor for potentially illegal efforts to overturn his loss in the 2020 presidential election. Stoner and myself? No, we're not the same person. You mean Stoner and Mono? No, they're different. Mono, like you can't take anything that like Mono says seriously. 90% of the 99% of the time, Mono's just shit posting in chat. In addition to the Manhattan probe, Trump is under criminal investigation by a Georgia prosecutor for potential legal efforts to overturn his loss in the 2020 presidential election. He also faces criminal probes by the U.S. Department of Justice in attempts to block President Biden as being the certified winner of the 2020 election nationally, and for retaining classified government records at his Florida residence after leaving the White House. The New York grand jury hearing testimony in Trump's criminal probe ended the day without voting on whether to indict the ex-president, the NBC News reported. Grand jurors earlier heard testimony by David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer supermarket tabloid and CEO of American Media. Pecker, who had been a Trump ally, has now appeared twice before the panel. The grand jury is next expected to meet Wednesday in the lower Manhattan. It is possible that the panel that same day could vote on a request by the prosecutor to indict Trump. Yeah, I mean, like, this is what I was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure they only meet Mondays and Wednesdays. Pecker is a key witness in the investigation of a $130,000 hush money payment that Trump's then lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen made to porn star Stormy Daniels right before the 2016 presidential election to buy her silence about the alleged the alleged affair with Trump, the alleged incident. Federal prosecutors have said Pecker and Howard, the Enquirer's editor at the time, warned Cohen in 2016 that Daniels was prepared to go public with her account. Cohen ended up paying Daniels, whose real name, yes we know, Stephanie Clifford, after Pecker and Howard contacted him a second time, said they had been told that Cohen had not finalized the payoff deal. American media, in cooperation with agreement with the Department of Justice, admitted that Pecker in 2015, more than a year before Daniels was paid off, met with Cohen and at least one other member of Trump's campaign. After the meeting, Pecker offered to help deal with negative stories about the presidential candidate's relationship with women by, among other things, assisting the campaign in identifying such stories that they can be purchased and their publication, publication, avoided. Now, you've already been dismissed. The moment you talk about 40% unemployment, like, people are just gonna laugh, dude. The idea that you don't understand, like the concept or the possibility that inflation is just, like, something that can happen from multiple factors. The obvious and, like, blatant lie that you're trying to push, that you're using somebody else's phone. It's just like, dude, I don't know, man. There's just, like, nothing here. There's just, like, literally nothing here. You're boring. Oh, yeah. No, I know Trump has a bunch of cases on him. Not participating in the labor force, but that could be for various reasons, not the same as unemployment. Oh, so they're conflating a different statistic. %. Yeah, they're conflating a different statistic. If you're 25, I don't want you in the workforce, quit. Oh, shoot. Good thing I'm not 25. Alia with another 15 biddies. Yeah, this is a completely different statistic. Pensioners are not working. That's un-American. True. Make choices that have as few people possible being reliant on you and fucking leave. Go do fun shit. True. That's what I'm gonna do right now. And by fun shit, I mean eat. Yeah, so our friend in chat just conflated a completely different statistics. Yeah, kids aren't working. Yep. Bring back child labor. Well, thanks to the GOP, they are. They are. Anyways, we'll keep tabs on this story. If anything happens on Wednesday, we'll definitely see. School is socialism. That's un-American. True. Trump is being driven mad, and that's the good part. Unemployment rates by government officers seem to be like wrangled for whatever they feel like at the time. Yeah, but these are completely separate numbers because like you can't put people who can't work as unemployed like on the unemployment like number, right? Like it doesn't make sense. Stoner made monasteries for that for a minute, yep. In the UK, they manipulated by counting people who are off job seekers as no longer being unemployed in order to make it look like they'd reduce unemployment, then used it the opposite way against the opposition party. Right, but like, yeah, but in this case, it was more like just a citing of different data. That's all. I peeped my student loan debt and it's actually lower than I thought. Oh, well, that's good. Unemployment keeps wages down. People out of the workforce don't have anything to do with it. Right. Correct. At current pace, I won't hit the 100k debt like I wanted to. Jesus Christ. Numbers are hard, folks. I'm purposely staying out of the workforce to reduce labor supply in order to help other people get better wages. Anyways. Alright, folks. I gotta get going to get some dinner. Folks! If you enjoy the content and you want to help support this channel, make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. And if you can't support the channel in a monetary way, you can head on over to the YouTubes, as somebody did earlier today. We're at 224, folks. 224. Subscribers. So if you want to just hit that big red button, you can, and it will help us out, spread the word far and wide that this is one of the chillest places to be for the news, for the politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. I will be back tomorrow. See you the next one. Yes, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, 5 p.m. Eastern. See ya! Yeah, that reminds me, I gotta finish that cat emote. Thank you, Michael Hassler. Thank you, Mono. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the support, all the new follows, the biddies, the subscription. Thank you. You guys are what makes this go. That's what he's saying, but for YouTube, true. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.